Hello, good afternoon or good morning. Ah, I just have so many things. I'm just like having this confliction in my mind. There's so many things I want to talk about, but I want to also listen. I want to also listen to spirit and not just be all gun-ho on my own thing. Hello everybody, thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I am your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. Oops. Um Spirit has been wanting me to come on more throughout the week as of late, randomly to transmute energy or to bring forward stories about people that need to hurry up and be, not hurry up, but there is like a, I don't want to say a time crunch, there's no rush, but at the same time, like these certain scenarios need to be said. So I'm just here showing up, doing my job, and yeah, I don't need to explain myself. Okay, I'm doing God's work. Okay, so I just want to clean my mess up, and we're gonna get right into it. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, I'm getting a lot of keywords for the Epstein emails. So I got a lot of things that I'm finding on there. Like here's some stuff about teleportation, a lot of stuff about energy. There seems to be some kind of I don't want to call it an obsession, but it's kind of an obsession by Jeffrey Epstein about people who have abilities and wanting to experience abilities or something supernatural. I found a huge email with a guy named Jeffrey Martin, who's some kind of scientific spiritualist, which is funny because I'm wondering what his scientific studies are revealing about ascension and why Jeffrey Epstein would be interested in that and people with abilities. So there seems to be something there. I don't know if I'm supposed to address it in this reading. I don't know. I'm just following the clues, okay? So my name is Patience. I'm a child psychic. I'm going to tap into the energy, see what spirit wants us to know, what needs to be said to be healed. We're approaching an energy burst or burst of energy that if anyone's watching who's a reader, who's a prophet, who's a messenger, I'm making those noises. Who thank you, spirit. Who's showing up, doing the readings. I've been here for centuries. All of these readings that we're all doing are not just about our own personal lives. Maybe there are some elements about that, but it's not about us. It's on a macro level. So spirit needs these readings to come out, whatever comes out, whatever you're assigned to the day that you sit down in your chair and decide to do it, whatever that assignment is for that moment, it has to be a mystery. It can't be known to you, because if you make announcements about it, if there's lots of things at stake here. Okay, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry if there seems to be a sense of urgency. It's just because I only have a short amount of time to reveal whatever information spirit wants to bring forward. Okay. Okay. Let's do the Disney cards. Thank you so much, Holy Divine Spirit. I'm so grateful for all of my blessings. Please give me a Disney card to help me understand what it is you want everyone to know. Good morning from Phoenix. I grew up in Phoenix. I went to Ironwood High School, and I went to Scorpio Sun 213. I like your name. And I went to, oh my God, Westwind Academy High School. Hello, thank you for being here. Okay, so what's the messages? And we have to keep in mind that a lot of these stories might be about, all of the stuff that's unfolding. And so what God says is that you can't heal what's not revealed. You have to reveal to heal. So that's why a lot of these things are coming out now, because the messengers who are waking up, the sleeper cells, there's something about Jeffrey Epstein wanting to find the sleeper cells, and they thought that there was some way to find them by going through scientists and spiritual people and then targeting the people associated with those spiritual people. There's something about them wanting to target people who they may have gotten some kind of reading, or because we know that they are in contact with witch doctors. If you want to know more about that, 11-1. If you want to know more about that, you can go to our TikTok. We have, thank you, Spirit said you're loved. We have provided emails that we found that directly correlate their knowledge and their use of voodoo and witch doctors, which at the same time, they're using psychics and people to read future timelines. And so they were trying, I don't know if they still are or they were, I don't know. But they're trying, thank you, they're trying to look for God's sleeper cells, the ones that have like a special DNA strain that's supposed to be activated at a particular time to reveal messages. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit, to show up unexpectedly, spontaneously, at the right time. And we're all on the dot. So I just want you guys to know that we're all on the dot. Okay, for all of you who know what I'm talking about, we're all on the dot. But you have to continue to show up no matter what they're projecting at you, no matter how tired you are, no matter how many beauty spells they're sending at you, no matter how many sleepy spells, whatever it is. You have to show up, and you don't need to announce yourself. You don't need to announce the reason, but there are still energies that need to be revealed. Okay. Oh, it's so heavy and extremely triggering. It is a spiritual warfare, and there's a lot of things that are unseen that still need to be revealed about certain people. And what Spirit doesn't want us to do is focus on famous people that are on the list or that are coming out, because there's a ton of non-famous people that still need to be revealed, that need to have judgment put on them, and they can't be judged if what they did is not revealed. Okay, so there's something about that. So I'm feeling it too. The pressure's on, because we're all locked in. Okay, we're all locked in. And so this is, you know what, JC, whatever your name is, I blow spells out of my butt when I fart. Well, you better be careful, because you think we're joking, but this isn't a joking matter. Okay, so if you don't want to take it seriously, that's fine, but we got, the grown-ups got work to do. Okay, we got work to do. All right, Spirit, tell me what's going on. Yeah, I found emails corresponding to a man named Jeffrey Martin, who's some kind of spiritual human tech guy. I don't know. It really reminds me of Atlantis. Radiator Springs. So they're trying to, doesn't this look like that stadium in Las Vegas with the big dome around it? Doesn't that look like that? Something about, and here's a hangar with the American flag. It looks like a airport hangar, or some kind of airport, or some kind of bus stop. There's a motel. I see a cop. I see cyanide. Oh, okay. Damn. So what Spirit wants you to know and to not be alarmed by or triggered by is that there could be a lot of people that are sprinkled throughout the collective that are part of, bigger, sports, international, military, police, it's like all over, like different factions that may have worked with this cult, this fertility cult that is worldwide, okay? Spirit said cyanide. I was getting this at work earlier. We might start to see a lot of people disappearing, taking their own life, being exited earlier than they should. We're going to see this is going to be a lot, okay? So just prepare yourselves, okay?
I'm playing games.
I'm playing games. Oh, thank you. And Spirit wants us to also not be distracted by the decoys. There may be a lot of decoys. If you have a fire in your belly, it might be a shark. Be careful. Can we ask for free? Looks like a cartoon to me. The sphere.
He shot me.
He shot me. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of upheaval. There's going to be a lot of chaos. It's because there's many people that are going to be resigning. They're going to be walking away. They could even potentially be the battery. They could even potentially be watching the readings by the true readers. They could be finding us. They could be walking away from all of their possessions. Oh, Spirit said don't move. There could be there could be lots of people that are trying to make travel plans. They're trying to figure out ways to escape or get out of what they got themselves into. Barrels of sulfuric acid were found on the island, which would dissolve all human remains. Yeah, and they have the whole ocean, so they could just, feed the sharks, But there's something here about the USA in particular. There could be other nations that have these instances, but it looks like the United States is going to be the middle of that. Okay. Toy car story. Drive-in theater. Oh yeah, lots of decoys. So the thing is that with these emails, they have to be released. But Spirit, we said this in our last reading, but just as a reminder for those, you have to understand that they're not going to let all of the information be out at once. They want it to be like a slow leak so they can try not to have the book thrown at them, and so they can create like a labyrinth type of scenario where you're constantly looking for emails, or you're searching for the email. Well, it's not going to work that way. It's not going to be one big disclosure. It's going to be chunks of disclosure, okay? And then as these slow leaks come in, there's going to be lots of people that are planning to make an exit, or that are planning their like fake death, that are planning moving outside of the country, that are planning on taking cyanide, like multiple different scenarios in that sense. Balloons.
It's not me.
So something about the doors being opened. Something about the doors are opened. The floodgates are opened. The floodgates are opened, and The flight logs. The floodgates are open and when the flight logs are released.
Hurting.
Hurting.
Regina.
Regina. Let me write that down. Regina. Let me look in the emails for Regina. I did find an email called Quantum Teleportation of Energy. This was February 10th, 2010, so 2/10/10 at 6:36 a.m. to Jeffrey. Here's some coverage of reports of teleportation of energy, games of entanglement, and attaches the author's report. Smart Planet Business. Physicist proves that teleportation of energy is possible. So I'm telling you guys, he was trying to do something with energy. I also found an email about he got in contact with a scientist who made a device that measures energy. It measures electromagnetic energy. And then I found the email where he's in correspondence with Jeffrey Martin. Let me see if I can tell you who Jeffrey Martin is. Let me see. Jeffrey Martin. Yeah, the founder of Transformative Technology Space. A serial entrepreneur and a social scientist who researches personal transformation in the states of greatest human well-being. Well, we know that Jeffrey Epstein was a transhumanist. So why did he want to work with Jeffrey Martin? He has a 25-year background at various intersections of well-being, media, advertising, and technology. He worked on broadcast crews for major sports championships, run a division at the heart of the world's largest advertising conglomerate. It's really me that led the industry's earliest conversion to digital and was one of the first successful online marketers, pioneered digital asset management. So what does this have to do? So what does this have to do with energy? I don't know. His work has regularly been featured at leading academic conferences worldwide, as well as major public forums such as Deepak Chopra's Sages and Scientists Symposium. And we know Deepak Chopra has emails with Jeffrey.
Knox.
He was studying science and non-duality.
George.
It says Jeffrey has conducted the largest international study on persistent non-symbolic experience, PNSE. Let me write that down. I don't think he's left the earthly plane, and that was not G-Max in the prison photo. They really think we are that dumb. Oh, don't worry. What they're gonna get is greater than any form of judgment that humans could place upon another human, okay? The government gave preferential treatment to Al Capone, and all that perceived as accomplices to the crimes will be given similar, same sentence. Okay. Well, what I want to know is what their research was, because yes, what they initiated and put into action was horrible, but they had a bigger plan that overall is run by way bigger people than them. And so I want to know what they were up to. It's definitely something about transhumanism, PNSE, and it's something about targeting people with special abilities, okay? Why? Which includes the types of consciousness commonly known as enlightenment, non-duality, the peace that passeth understanding, unitive experience, and hundreds of other terms. This resulted in the first reliable cross-cultural and pan-tradition classification system for these types of experiences. It also led to fundamental discovery that these were psychological states that had been identified and adopted for thousands of years by many cultures and belief systems. They were not inherently spiritual or religious, but identified and adopted for thousands of years by many cultures and belief systems. They were not inherently spiritual or religious or limited to any given culture or population, and could be molded in many ways to shape the experience. More recently, he has used this research to make systems available to help people obtain profound psychological benefits in a rapid, secular, reliable, and safe way. What is that? Like, what makes this man think that he has created a shortcut to enlightenment? There's no shortcuts to enlightenment. You have to go through your shit. And so I'm wondering, what is this that he's selling? What is this that he thinks he's found, that he has conducted a large study on? And how do you conduct a study on this? And why was Jeffrey Epstein interested? You know? What was in Pennsylvania, Taylor Swift? What is wrong with that state? Yes, more people involved at the top. This demand for demonic cults rituals don't just go away. Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm going to be honest that this guy's not giving me enlightened. Okay? This researcher, Jeffrey, of the transformative technology space. And he has all of these experiences helping out, spent as a notorious hacker. Pioneered digital asset management for the Fortune 100 and spent time as a notorious hacker. So he's also a hacker? Like, what are you talking about, bro? Are you trying to hack enlightenment? Is Jeffrey Epstein trying to find a research? And then in the email to this man, which I will read a little bit, it's quite long, honestly. It's very long. Jesse Jackson dying? Oh, no, I have not. I didn't know he died. We can definitely try to talk to him. And so in this email, which is right here, looks like this. It's from Jeffrey Martin to Jeffrey Epstein on August 11th, 2017, 12:30 p.m. They had a meeting. He flew out to see Jeffrey, and he's waiting in a Delta lounge awaiting his delayed flight to LA. The conversation about the math on your blackboard reaffirmed my intuition about you and put you back on my mind. Does anyone know about Jeffrey Epstein and a blackboard? And some kind of mathematical problem on a blackboard? I thought that maybe my email had waved you off this line of inquiry. That would have been fine an outcome as not, because from a personal perspective, I think that the most important thing for you is to stop wasting time on this one way or the other. Either you need to start actually making progress or just walk away. It seems like there are many other fields that can use what you're capable of if you're not going to make progress on this one. Of course, he tried to hack enlightenment. He's a narcissist. Exactly. Nonetheless, you seem to remain interested in working on this stuff, even if you are still a bit stuck in what you're hoping for based on where you're at. I get what you're hoping and asking for. You want some kind of initial personal experience that convinces you that this weird stuff is real. My offer, revised below, contained my very best advice on this matter. I think you are best off if you can bring your expectations into alignment with what I say in it. I've tried hard to provide the best path for you, not wasting any more time on this. My opinions haven't changed. Ultimately, I think what you are hoping for will be a waste of time until you build some more capacity to have these kinds of experiences. So, right here, he's acknowledging that you can only have a certain experience spiritually that you're open to. If you're like Jeffrey Epstein and you're about math and logic and you're not, you think all of that spiritual stuff is hogwash, but I don't understand because they're doing rituals. And I've already provided emails where they're talking about witch doctors and voodoo. So I don't understand. Is he interested in reversing something, or is he trying to prove to himself that, the rituals he did? I don't know. Like, I have no idea. Like, why do you need further evidence? Like, what are you looking for? You should get real light bulbs. The LED is making your skin look green. No, it's just the color of the light, hon. See, it's just the color of the light. It's just the yellow lighting. I thought she looked yellow and I was concerned she had liver issues. It's fall. You guys, we're talking about something very important and you're worried about my lighting. Who cares about the lighting? You need to look at the things in the background and you need to look at other things that are not affected by the lighting, okay? I need you to use critical thinking. We're trying to unravel important mysteries, okay? I'm sorry. I'm impatient. So this guy he's telling him the truth, and he clearly knows that if you're somebody who's really logical and thank you so much. If you're somebody who's very logical and you see everything in a very logical, linear way, you're not going to have a spiritual experience. And that's true. Or should I say, you're not going to perceive them, because it's not that they're not happening. You just aren't in the capacity to receive or perceive the experience. Okay, so this person, Jeffrey Martin, is acknowledging and telling him, you should just forget about whatever this math. You know what? Let me see if there's any evidence of a Jeffrey Epstein and a blackboard with a mathematical equation. The board contained handwritten words scrawled in white chalk, including political plots, deception, power, truth, and music. Reports describe the scrawls as cryptic jumble rather than a coherent mathematical formula, with some words underlined and connected, suggesting a focus on influence, control, and dark brain concepts. The photos were released by a House Oversight Committee to illustrate the bizarre world of Epstein at his best, at times eerie surroundings. Epstein taught math and physics at Dalton School in Manhattan. Physicist mindset. 2002 profile indicated that Epstein often discussed mathematics with scientists, with biologist Martin Nowak once stating that Epstein had the mind of a physicist and would sometimes use math to inform his investments. But this guy is acknowledging that there's a mathematical equation on the blackboard that's for something specific. For some kind of experience. Sloan Bella talks about how the elites have to fracture the sacral or solar chakra by violating them in order to trap them. I'm sure Jeff would have loved this info. None of what you're reading is going to change what has happened or what will happen. Wow, he used numbers to work with money. What a far out concept. Damn, people, stop the nitpicking. Girl, you're great. Oh, thank you. It's okay. Okay, so So what my question to Spirit is going to be, and what I'll draw a card for, is, Spirit, what is Jeffrey Epstein interested in from Jeffrey Martin about an experience of weird stuff to convince him that this weird stuff is real? Why is he and this is in 2017, so this is about a year and a half before he was apprehended. So he's already for years been doing rituals. I want to know why he needs a mathematical equation and he needs to collect people from different places to prove this, because you seem to have a penchant for the guy who makes walls come alive. Although I personally doubt you can get an experience from him until you increase your capacity, the reality is that he is ridiculously skilled and powerful, and as a result, it's not completely out of the question. You may feel some kind of energy or something in your state of consciousness or something else, and I can probably get him to come to you. Something you need to keep in mind about me is that by far the most important thing is my relationship with these individuals. So he is working with individuals that have special abilities. And he says that I don't want to introduce you to them because I don't want to mess up the relationship that I have with them. And I don't want to cause unnecessary human psychological suffering. I'm not willing to risk the direction I'm headed in or progress on my core project for it. These folks are extremely rare and hard to locate, deal with, get to participate in more in-depth research, and so on, because there's virtually nothing that I or anyone else can offer them. He's talking about people who have stepped into Christ consciousness, who are LOL. Hello, thank you for being here. He's talking about people who are walking in Christ consciousness. They exhibit Christ consciousness, and so there's no amount of money you can offer them. There's no amount of anything physical or 3D material that you can offer them to work with you, and you cannot bypass their intuition or their knowing because they're connected to the Christ grid. And so this doctor is saying that there's no possible way that you're ever going to get one of them to work with you. Okay? And then he goes into saying that, however, And then he says, however, it just so happens that the person you keep mentioning has a belief that just one engaged super rich person could change the world. Okay, so they're working with somebody who has extrasensory perception or special abilities or is walking in Christ consciousness that he thinks may want to work with Jeffrey, possibly. But the thing is, he just said before, the last thing I want to do is to have them feel like I wasted even a moment of their time by dragging them to meet with someone who is asking them to put on a show, but is out of sync with their own capabilities and can't experience it. That's the kind of thing that is a relationship ender in their world, because it would show them that they can no longer trust in my judgment regarding requests for their time. You see? Yes, it is. And his email to Jeff Martin, yes. Okay, and so I'm wondering so my question to Spirit and what I want to know about this is, what are they talking about? Why is Jeffrey so obsessed with finding individuals who exhibit special abilities, and why does he need them to show them to him? Does he want to find them to like dissect them and like figure out how they work? Because he also is talking to that scientist who created that device that measures the electromagnetic field. I think he's trying to measure the field of somebody who's walking in Christ consciousness. Okay, I don't know why. But this guy is like, he has one foot in each world. He's trying to, in one foot, tell tell Epstein that you can't even experience. The thing about you, Jeffrey, is that you're too logical, and your sex drive is too high. He says, again, based on our research, your three biggest barriers are immersion in a highly analytical mind, high mathematical aptitude, and a large sex drive with at least some degree of dominance focus. Okay, so this guy is clearly knowing what he does, okay, which is really questionable to me, okay? And then so like he has one foot in, one foot out. So this guy is correct in acknowledging that someone who is highly analytical and who is stuck in their root chakra, that is and wants to dominate and control things, is not going to have a divine spiritual experience. But it doesn't mean they can't have a spiritual experience of other whatever. Okay. And so this guy is like, just stop what you're doing, because you're never going to experience what you're looking for, because you have these things that stop you from even having an experience. And then it's like the saying in the Bible where they say Yeshua couldn't heal anyone who is from his hometown, because none of them had the belief that he could do it. And so it's like he's speaking a truth, but then at the same time he's saying, I could possibly talk this person into coming to you. And then he has stipulations. Okay, then but LOL, this is a really long email, and then at the end he has stipulations for the only ways he'll work with him, and there's like 17 of them. Okay? Even though he's saying I'm 90% sure that you'll miss the picture and lose years in the process, because he's acknowledging that Jeffrey Epstein doesn't want to do the work to have a true divine experience. He wants the shortcut. Okay? So let me see. So what are they talking about? Let me see if I can get something. What are they talking about? Why is he so interested in this? I'll do a vocabulary word. Why is he so interested in this? Ostensible. The ostensible reason for his visit was to borrow a book, but he secretly wanted to chat. Yeah, I think that what I'm getting is that Jeffrey Epstein is telling a specific reason for why he wants this research to this person to get him on board, but he has a secret interest that he's not telling this person. And so he's trying to get this guy to connect him with people who have special abilities. But the thing is that when you're connected to the Christ grid, you can read energy. And so you don't want to even be in the vicinity or talk to or even get close to anyone with Jeffrey Epstein's energy, or even this guy, Jeffrey Martin. Okay? So then my second question is, what is this scientist or doctor doing to experience? What is it? What did it? Oh man, I got rid of it. Damn it. Oh no, it's right here. To get personal transformative technology. I guess it is a kind of technology, a spiritual technology, but you can't replicate it through technology. It's not something that's replicable. You can't, if you're not talking about the Holy Spirit, then it should stop. Oh, why, young shadow? What are you afraid of? If you're not talking about Jesus, the Holy Spirit, or the Father, stop trying to deceive people. What are you talking about? All right, young shadow. You clearly are an insider. There you go. Anyone associated with him knew exactly what that demon was into, point blank period. Absolutely. Through people remote viewing. Girl, is the eclipse troll. I know, I'm like full moon. I'm like, no, spirit. I don't want to go on. Okay, so yeah. Well, we already know that they utilize dark empaths, dark psychics. They have witch doctors, voodoo priestess under their payroll. But he wants to get in contact with specific people with certain abilities through this guy. Tell me about this guy, Spirit. Who's this Jeffrey Martin guy? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know him, but just looking at his energy, I'm not going to say that he's some enlightened being. I'm just doesn't feel that way. Picadillo. A minor sin or offense. Gabriel tends to harp on his brother's peccadillos and never lets him live them down. Failing, fault, lapse, misstep. Yeah. I think that Jeffrey Epstein was starting to regret getting into this fertility cult. I think that he was trying to look for a way to fix it. I think he was trying in his logical mind to find some kind of connection to what they were doing, because something was starting to happen. There was something that he realized was a misstep, a lapse in judgment, that he was failing, that something was going to end badly for him. So I think he was trying in his logical mind to find people, places, and things that could get him into contact with people that emit a specific type of frequency that's different than the entities that he's been working with. And because he recognized that certain rare people who are connected to the Christ grid emit a specific kind of frequency, he was trying to find them. Now, I don't know if he was told to find them in this way or this was his own idea. I don't know. I'm not sure. Tell me, Spirit. He believes he can manipulate time with people that have the ability to remote view. Well, I think it's people who have multiple abilities. I know you're stuck on the remote viewing, and I agree, but I think he's looking for anyone who has any type of spiritual ability or psychic ability. I don't know. Let me see. Glib, fluent in an insincere manner, offhand, casual. The slimy politician managed to continue gaining supporters because he was a glib speaker. Easy, superficial, fluent in insincere manner. That's so funny because all of his emails are exactly like that. They're so fluent in an insincere manner. He's like very limited speaking, not a lot of emotion, very superficial. But what I'm getting from this is slimy politician managed to continue gaining supporters. Yeah, there's something that they realize they fucked up with. And so there's something about needing to, just like I said before, he needs to appear sincere about what he wants with this information and these people with spiritual abilities with this person, because this person is like, I can't risk all of my studies that I conducted with these specific people. I can't risk the relationship with them to bring them to you, because they're going to know that you're insincere. They're going to know that it's superficial, that you're just, slimy, that you're just a smooth talker. And I know they're going to think that because you're not willing to do the work that I've already told you have to do in order to experience these things. So it's almost like this guy is it's like his intuition is speaking to him, but then he goes in and out of like this logical, and he's trying to make it work for him. I don't know. It's some weird inability to see what his own intuition is telling him to not work with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. To siphon their energy. I don't know. So let me see. How can I find that out? You know what? Let me look in the Dream Dictionary. If you guys can help me formulate specific questions about what I'm bringing up, that would be very helpful. I'm not good at that. But Spirit needs to have specific questions if we want to get down to the bottom of it. So, are they doing this? You know what? Let me get out the tit rods. Someone called them that. That's what we're going to call them. So let me see. Spirit, Holy Divine Spirit. Is Jeffrey Epstein interested in people with special abilities? Ooh, jeez. What the heck? Is Jeffrey Epstein interested in people with special abilities? Is there a specific reason that we haven't said? Yeah, exactly, Scorpio sun. But you know what? You can, if you're so logical that you just didn't ever put any, you would do the things, but you just didn't expect a bad outcome because you just didn't believe in it. I feel like that's what's happening a lot with people who do witchcraft. They do it innocently because someone else is doing it, and then, they start looking up things online, and that happens on a micro scale. But on a macro scale, when you're working with these families that have been doing this for years, and they don't exactly tell you, the consequences of doing it, and they just kind of lie to you about it, But I agree. You can, I mean, it's kind of silly to believe you can do these things and that nothing will happen to you, honestly. I bet he wanted the purity particles to hold them ransom to gain, to free themselves from their karma, you mean? I have a feeling that it's pretty multidimensional. I really want to use this as an experiment to read energy to just kind of narrow down. So let me see. Absolutely time travel. I found that email about teleportation. And we know that the Cabal uses chronomancy. They've used chronomancy in the time, necromancy. They abuse divination in multiple ways. Okay. Holy Divine Spirit. Is there a reason they want to target people with spiritual abilities? Yes. Okay. Do they want to collect the people with special abilities? Oh, yes. Do they want to get rid of people with the special abilities? Yes. Did they look at a future timeline through divination abuse? Yes. Are they involved with Project Alice or Project Looking Glass? Yes. Were they trying to follow a timeline that was a probability match? Yes. Was the probability of that timeline done by a supercomputer? Yes. Is that why they thought they would never get in trouble? Yes. Was it hidden from them that God put sleeper cells on the planet to awaken at this time? Yes. Was it hidden to them that these sleeper cells would change the timeline? Yes. Are they trying to collect these sleeper cells to stop the timeline from changing? Yes. Is there other reasons they want the sleeper cells? Yes. Do they want the sleeper cells to be used as battery sources? Yes. Are they trying to collect the sleeper cells? Yes. Do they want to harm them? Yes. Are they stopping the sleeper cells through intrusive thought and energy manipulation? Yes. Is that why a lot of the readers are reading on family members and people close to them going against them? Yes. Is it because they all jumped timelines? Is it because they jumped into the new Earth timeline? Oh, oh my gosh. To sell them to the dark, low vibe Orions? No. Is it bigger than just the Orions? Yes. I think what we have to remember is just like Earth, there isn't there isn't just bad people, there's good and bad people. And so just like reptilians, just like Orions, there's going to be good and bad ones. It's not going to be like one group is bad and there is, there's going to be both. Okay. So, are there negative Orions involved? Yes.
Are you ready to go to Fun City?
Not sure. I'll be done in a second.
Can I get you do it?
I'll be done in a second. Come on, go. No, I'll get in trouble. Close the curtain. Eat a snack. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, okay, good. Oh my gosh. Okay, when it comes to Jeffrey Martin, are his studies of enlightenment divine? No. Is Jeffrey Martin trying to find a shortcut to enlightenment? Yes. Is Jeffrey Martin doing energy experiments? Yes. Is Jeffrey Martin unaware of the spiritual consequences involved in his experiments? Yes. Oh, I have some. Oh, Maleficent I just accidentally flipped Maleficent over. Okay, I'm going to do an experiment. Spirit, I'm going to say what I'm getting, and then you tell me yes or no, okay? Is there a group of people who are connected to scientists who have created... I don't know how to word this. Okay, I'm not going to say it as a question. I'm just going to say what I'm getting. So there's something that has to do with Project Looking Glass. And there's scientists that are part of Project Paperclip as well that are also part of this cult, this fertility cult. This fertility cult has combined with other fertility cults or secret societies that use ancient ritual practices. Is this true? Yes. Okay, thank you. They try to use a supercomputer to come up with probable timelines. Yes. Project Pegasus, they got Jesus blood from cross. Is that true? No. Honestly, guys, I don't even know if they truly sacrificed Jesus. I know that's going to be controversial. Did they sacrifice Jesus? Okay, they don't want to talk about that right now. So these scientists used a supercomputer and put in the probability of specific timelines or events. Is this true? Then they went forward with the highest probable timelines that would benefit them based upon the criteria that they entered into the supercomputer. Is this true? But what the supercomputer didn't tell them is that there would be a shift in consciousness. Is this true? Yes. And the reason why they didn't input this into their calculations is because they're all atheists. Yes. And they didn't equate the amount of people that would come into Christ consciousness. Yes. Because they don't believe that that exists. Yes. These are all mathematicians and shit that don't believe in a higher source. Yes. But why do they believe in rituals? Why do they believe in rituals, but they don't believe in... you know what I'm saying? Like, that's always a question for me. Like, okay, so you'll do all these weird things, rituals to, I don't know, for fertility. I don't know. I don't understand the disconnect. I think they've seen Jesus, a lot of them, and they choose to... Oh, absolutely. Please tell us they don't hold us back. Well, I think that's the issue for them, is that they were under the illusion that they could hold us back. And that's why it was almost like a trap. It's a honey trap that God set for them because they wanted to be maleficent. You know, they were indulging in dark thoughts. They were allowing power and control to like infest their intentions so they could have more money, more wealth, more control of the people. And, you know, I just don't know where the rituals come in. Like, I really don't. That's the connection. Like, I don't understand. But there is something about, let me see if I can get it. Tell me about this connection between wanting these people with abilities and their plans. During a world fair, a group of scientists were exhibiting their... I'm doing a mind trap. So you can see. CERN announced in 2017 that a parallel timeline is destroyed. Oh, that's funny because this email from this guy is in 2017. So I'm telling you, there's something that started to shift for them. And he may have started to recognize that whatever they did before was not working. And so they had to come up with another alternate way to stop the ball from rolling. Okay? I think they already read that. Your cam makes you look green. People are obsessed with the color of my skin. Let that be a projection of you. Who cares? Who cares what the color of my skin is? Do you hear what we're talking about? Because they can hear God's word, they worship the dark and gain all these things. All their illusions, their system of control, their smoking mirrors are passing away. Well, that's the thing. Like, why didn't they? I don't know. There's something about them. It's almost like because they didn't believe in anything, any input they put into the supercomputer was solely based off of control and dominance. Okay, it wasn't any type of input that was based off of connection or unity or compassion. And so because the computer only had that limited numbers of the equation, that's why it only gave out timelines that for the scientists that were inputting the information worked for them and for the powers that be, and why it didn't calculate another alternate route, because they were not putting in alternate things. They're just doing things for power and dominance. Okay, maybe our belief in Jesus being sacrificed as a god, as a odd thing, it manifested love, so hate will be opposite and logically exists to balance love, hence rituals. Well, the rituals are supposed to mock divine energy. And so we've said this before in past readings, that the archons are only mirroring your dark thoughts. Okay, they're not creating these things out of thin air. They're reading your thoughts, or these people's thoughts that have personality disorders, that don't believe in anything, that grew up in harsh environments, that are projecting their dark upbringing onto mega supercomputers without any input of love or anything. What the archons do, what their job is to read your thoughts, and then it kind of like the way remember the movie, that being used your fears against you. It's not that that's what he wanted to do, or like what he was coming up with. He was just reading your mind and then using what you're the most scared about against you. And that's kind of like what these people have done and what they've created. And the most scariest thing that's in their minds is, being eaten, getting your children taken away, and things like that. And so it has to be the total opposite of love, which is fear. And so it has to be opposite of divine energy. And so I'm wondering if the rituals are just a projection of their own darkness, not so much something they had to do, but something that they created, something they created. Reading your thoughts, these black screens are made to do that too. That's how come they pull up stuff you think about. Absolutely. Yes. And we just did a reading the other day that talked about the IMAX CEO. He was in contact with the IMAX CEO, and Spirit said devices, and they may have been using any devices that carry the IMAX experience to be able to read energy or project energy. Okay. So the Mind Trap says, I gotta go soon. During a world fair, a group of scientists were exhibiting their advances in genetic engineering. There were crossbreeds of various bulls, cows, and other domestic farm animals. That's why I didn't know what the hell Spirit was talking about. Look at this in the card. And there's a cow here that looks like a human. It's just like Atlantis, you guys. There's nothing new under the sun. These are the same old scientists from Atlantis trying to play God. Okay? So annoying. There were crossbreeds of various bulls, cows, and other domestic farm animals. Featured in the exhibit were several oversized prized turkeys. One afternoon during the show, a woman walked up to the exhibit, shot the turkeys, and ran out of the building. Although she was known to a number of people, nobody made attempt to stop her. Why? The woman shot the turkeys with a camera. She was a journalist with a deadline. Spirit, you are so funny. Oh my gosh. Sleeper cells. Didn't I tell you? God put in sleeper cells. Specific people, I just love Spirit so much. I'm just like falling over myself because I'm spinning. Yes, this is crazy. So what I remember from Atlantis, there had to be a flood, right? There had to be a flood. Noah was the one righteous person left that didn't sell himself out or lie to anybody or cheat or steal or whatever, okay? And he had to get all the genetic material that was innocent as well to be saved. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm speaking metaphorically. And then during Atlantis, there was the flood because the scientists of Atlantis, it was split into two factions. It was the people who are on a spiritual path and people who are on a scientific path. But not all giants are bad. Just like I said before, not all reptilians are bad. Not all giants are bad. It's the split. It's the split. Remember the other day I said this is the Y crossing between divine energy and not? It's because the earths are splitting. And so there's something about after the split, after we, people choose a side, there's going to be some kind of natural disaster. But I don't know if that's metaphorical or if that's it. The natural disaster in our modern day and age can be interpreted as somebody who has video evidence. Because this says it was shot by a camera. Okay? Shot the turkeys with a camera. She was a journalist with a deadline. Okay? Ooh, damn. So, and we have lots of dreams about a lab where there's a billionaire who switches consciousness with people and then like pretends to be those people. So they're definitely doing energy experiments. It's because they're trying to breed with people who have a specific energy signature so they can breed out people that don't match this God frequency. They're trying to get a shortcut to God frequency, to having abilities, to knowing, to being able to see the future without doing black magic, to having your innate inheritance, to having your inheritance. But I'm going to tell you right now that there's no shortcuts. Okay, there's no shortcuts. You cannot replicate it. You can't produce it in a lab. Hey, Robin. Yeah, we're going to have to because I got to go. I promise I take the kids somewhere fun. We're on school vacation, so... Yeah, we'll definitely have a part 2. I just want to come on and share some of the emails I got that Spirit gives me clue words, and then because there's lots of emails, and then I put the clue word in and I follow the clues that Spirit gives me. So it's because we have to reveal it to heal it. If we don't know what they're doing, if it's going to continue to be a secret, then we can't we can't come to the part of the timeline. Yes, thank you so much, Spirit. We can't come to the part of the timeline where there is a journalist that has a camera that witnessed, that has evidence. You know, there's a lot of, we just had Vlad TV come through, even though he was taking money from Jay-Z to be quiet about, you know, all the stuff that the rock mafia was into, but he came forward. And so the more we reveal these things that are hidden, the more that people will feel safe and they'll follow their intuition about coming forward. And we need these people to come forward. So one thing that I want us all to do is to keep on watching the readings, because by watching it, we become aware. And don't attach yourself personally to the readings. A lot of these readings are not personal readings. They're of what's going on that we need to reveal. Okay. And a lot of us are learning that they're not all about us, and we need you to remember that. Okay. I know that a lot of us that are awakening are watching the readings, trying to figure out what happened within our own circle, and it is tied to that because we're a fractal universe, and so a lot of things that happen on a macro scale will also happen on a micro scale in slightly different ways. Maybe not as intense, but definitely having a lot of betrayal and stuff. Okay, so I just want you to remember to watch the readings that you come across or that come onto your For You page that spark your interest, like you're watching a soap opera, okay? Like you're just watching a show. Don't get attached to celebrities and stuff. You know, a lot of us who are called to do specific readings that'll be our assignments. And so you don't have to go out and drive yourself crazy looking for, you know, the one person that's going to unlock this. What's going to unlock it is our awareness that it's happening and listening to the stories that are hidden. And then once we have enough people who are locked into the grid that are watching the stories, then we'll get to a part in the timeline that we're on where that person will feel safe enough, and the divine will work on getting that person to feeling safe enough to reveal what they know and the pictures that they have and the evidence that they have, because they've been paying people off, and people have made the mistake of taking money, of being quiet, and they're going under karma, because if you receive money and be quiet about something that you know is happening, you're going to be part of the karma that gets dealt out. Now, the good thing about karma is that, you know, it's never the wrong time to make a right choice. It's never the wrong time to make a right choice. And it's never too late. And so Spirit wants you to know that, you know, we have your back. We are praying for you. We're holding the grid in place. We have a lot of locked in individuals who are waking up on the Christ consciousness grid, that these people were trying all the targeting, all of the spam, all of the phone calls, all of the, just endless, even for myself, you know, these things are going to start slowing down, but you cannot slow down. You have to keep going. So you need to keep on taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, going into quiet. You're going to get tired, but you need to still do the readings. There's people who are on assignment to help those of us who are waking up, who are at the beginning of the journey. Everyone's on different paths. It's very miraculous the way it's unfolding. It's very miraculous. Do your part. Do your due diligence. Everyone has a part to play. And if we're not showing up the way that our blueprint was designed to show up at this time, we are the sleeper cells, okay? We're at this point where it's time. It's time. Calling all sleeper cells. It's time, okay? Oh, there's so much information. It's really hard to streamline. I'm very excited. I'm excited about it. It's very exciting. Don't focus on all of the stuff they did. You know, don't focus on that. Focus on how we can remain cloaked and invisible so they can't mess with us and our minds. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. I love you so much. We'll definitely try to come on a couple more times this week, because Spirit's even calling to me to come on more often, okay? I love you. Have a great day. Have fun. Find joy. Do things that make you feel good emotionally, not physically. We love you. Bye.